everlasting God who changeth not. Oh, yes, he remains the same. And so wherever you are this morning, once again, I say a massive welcome to the show. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly more 5 minutes past the top of the hour, whilst we try to get Mr. Limey Koiki on. Wherever you are, just stay tuned. But I want to, before I put Yomi on, okay, let me acknowledge it before I play this video from Chief Sunday. A very short one, but it's quite mine. I mean, something that I would want you to reflect on wherever you are. But Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. And we welcome you to, once again, Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, how are you and how was your weekend?
Well, it was an amazing weekend because I was actually in Manchester, Birmingham. I'm going to be discussing all that, during this program.
Good morning to you
but
back
I say,
in the studio,
it was a very beautiful one. And after that, it's been a bit tiring, but it's good to be back again with you and the rest of the team this morning, once again, on Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, as for tiring, it has been. Some of us couldn't, just get out to do anything. Yeah, well, so that tired. I didn't know that I was that tired. I was telling Mr. Francis Guy this morning, but hey, I thank God because of the love that we have for you and to do the work that we have to do and to bring you everything that you need to know. We are here once again. So do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Periscope, those of you on Facebook, Twitter, and all the other social media platforms, we salute you. But before we start with our conversation, let me bring you something from Chief Sunday Igboho, and then we will continue with the program. So just bear with me whilst I bring that short, and then we will. Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hands. God is powerful.
We can hear you back. Is it from me? Could be from my end. Oh, what's wrong with the system this morning? It's playing around. The system is really, really overworking. We've lost a... There might be no anyone.
Well,
Not sure what has gone wrong there. Something has gone wrong. When I'm with me, right, suffering pretty bad to our life, can you mark me? This. Oh, update missing, get out. Get out.
we go back with empty hands. God is powerful. Okay, so that.
sure what is going on this morning. Seems we're having some bit of technical problem. Back to the studio. Don't know what's going on with my internet. The reason that is that we need a lot of system to work with, you know. You only work with the little you have. That's always the problem. Apparently, we will BBC, then CNN, they're spending millions of pounds sterling, you know, to have the system working. But we only work with what we have. So, and if we really want to get a Yoruba nation, we need a powerful media to do the job. So let's go back again. I'm sure I'm getting a lot of...
trying to get in. So just bear with us. What's that?
Okay.
Okay, I think we are on the part of getting Mr. Line Koiki on. My apologies for the connectivity issue that we seem to be facing this morning. But let me see. Yeah, I can hear him. Okay. Whilst we're waiting for the connectivity to go through. Yomi, good morning once again.
Yeah, very good morning to you back in the studio.
Okay. So we're trying to still get the image. The image has not come on yet. But whilst we are waiting for the image to come on, let's continue with our conversation. Yeah, you said that over the weekend you were out of London. What happened? What event did you attend to? But let me say good morning to Ajayi Jamil. He said, wow, you people are doing well. Thank you very much, Ajayi. I hope you are doing well too. Have a blessed day. All right then. Yeah, so whilst we wait for the visual, let's go on with the audio. So what was the event that you attended?
Well, we actually took the Yoruba Nation awareness campaign to Manchester City, and then that was on Saturday. We left London just before 9 in the morning, then got to Manchester just literally in time before the event was meant to start at 2 o'clock. And it was a very good outing. We were at Moston Lane, where we have a lot of Yoruba people, or the Nigerians, for those that are still Nigerians, so to call. It was a fantastic one. We were able to showcase, the culture. We were able to, again, what we can call evangelism of the Yoruba nation, for the benefit of those that could not make it to London over the weekend, the June 12th that we had. I mean, quite a lot of people, came down from Manchester, but unfortunately, not everybody were able to make it. So they were quite happy. And I'm sure the next turnout at any event, they'll be more than proud to. And then we slept over in Manchester to arrive into Birmingham, just before the service from the, some of the biggest churches that we have, Winners Chapels in Birmingham, and also the Redeemed Christian Church of God. We were also at one of the Islamic event that happens every Sunday, known as the As-Salatu. So we were also at that event on Sunday. Again, it was a very successful one, because quite a lot of people that have been following, the Yoruba nation, and those that have been also in that particular side in Birmingham were happy, to see that we came all the way down from London, just to make sure that, our people are carried along, especially with what is happening. So it was a long one. During that trip, I was able to again project to a lot of Nigerians, the reason why things work in this country. When you look at the road network, leading from London to Manchester, an average 2 million vehicles are passing through that particular, road network on a daily basis. Service break, so a lot of things that could generate income, if only Nigeria was working for the last 61 years. So it was a kind of a showcase that will be going into city to city, and then the next city is already being planned as we speak right now.
Wow, that's a good one. Quite quite busy, what we call it, weekend for you. But before I come to my question that I wanted to pose, Anthony Adedeji and Oyegoke Oluwole, good morning to you all, and thank you very much for joining us once again. Now, Yomi, so it looks like the momentum is more in London than other parts of the UK and of the world, apart from Nigeria. Am I right or wrong?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Looking at the, in every part of the wherever we stay, people tend to stay more in one particular location than the other. So we have more Nigerians staying in London as compared to more Nigerians staying outside London. But I think in the last 20 years, quite a lot of Nigerians have moved from London, to outside London because it's more cheaper. I spoke to a young man that we met in Birmingham, and he said after his university at University of Greenwich, he relocated back some about almost 12 years ago. He's doing very well in his own small little business. He does coconut, and he says he's been much more stable than some of his colleagues. We all know London is quite expensive. One of our hosts, that kept us in his own beautiful 5-bedroom house. I mean, you can imagine what you would have to pay, should you want to have a 5-bedroom house in London. That means, you're talking about, almost quite a lot of, money in there. So the reason why people don't want to live in London is not because of anything, it's because London has become a very, very expensive city. And should you want to live in London, you must also have, the means of income. So, so that indicates that, yes, we do have quite a lot of Nigerians that are pickpocket all over the country, but London seems to be, the pinpoint of where a lot of Nigerians live and work and do businesses.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olaimi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie, and we are bringing updates from Nigeria. And that was just a bit of information pertaining to some events that took place on the campaign, or the awareness, or the evangelism when it comes to the Oduduwa. Okay, so here you are. Welcome to the program. We don't just look at that, we look at various stories that is making the rounds. But 1.5 million people in Borno IDP camps. Now, the Gabriel Nyetse, Chief of Staff to Governor Samuel Otum, says 1.5 million persons are in various internally displaced people's camps in Borno State. And that is quite frightening. Now, so that is only that part of Nigeria. What about the other states where there's been lots of attacks or insecurity there? Can you give us a bit on that, please?
Well, when you look at the IDP in Nigeria, it's quite a lot of, issues that have been ongoing, since, the insurgency, the terrorist attack, in most part of the Northeast and the Northwest and the North-South. When we talk about that, you have to, wind it down to, some particular more areas are much more bigger than the others. But as we do know, the Northeast Nigeria has been, well hit, when we come to, the IDP camp. So you're quite right. The Chief of Staff to Governor Samuel Otom says 1.5 million persons at various internal displaced purposes, in the IDP camp in Benue State. When we look at Benue geographically, Benue is meant to be, the food basket of Nigeria. But the way it is right now, because of the insurgency, the killings and so much, it hasn't done, the needful. Farmers are being killed, and that means villages, local government is now in control of the terrorist attack in the country. And as the Chief of Staff was saying, that noted that the terrorists have turned the majority of farmers in Benue into destitute and could lead to food insecurity in the country. As we do know, I was also, last week we were talking about, Peter will be talking about almost 100 million Nigerians are people living in what we can call extreme poverty. In one of the headlines that I've got here as well, worst individuals in the society are people leading Nigeria. So it seems also that as you could tell there that, does that mean that, we have the worst people? There's a lot of Nigerians that are suffering, but when we talk about the IDP, is a different kind of sufferness, because already they've lost everything. They've lost their homes. They've lost their community in the hands of the terrorist insurgency in the country. So you're quite right. As of this morning, Benue State alone is holding almost 1.5 million internal displaced people.
Wow, interesting. Listeners, Starr Radio UK. Now, so when it comes to refugees, I mean, internally displaced people, I call them refugees. How are they catered for in Nigeria? Is there are there structures that have been built, or is just a camp where they are living in tents? And then you look at, have they made provision for toilets or you don't have anything of the sort?
Well, you would think that would be the case, but again, not literally, because we have a lot of NGOs, international NGOs. I'm just looking at how we touch lives, is coming from these, particular, CSHPN. I'm going to give us the full details of that. How we touch lives in the IDP camp. This is coming from the Community Social Humanitarian Project Nigeria, Abuja. A non-governmental organization claimed it has touched the lives of over 2,000 Nigerians, especially those in various internal displaced persons. A lot of people are doing their little bit, but again, because of the pressure that we have at the moment, there was a fallout between the management and the workers over donations that come to support those in the camp. We try to manage the crisis. We have been able to. It seems also is a kind of a money machine. The more people that we have in the IDP, the more the international community, the more the World Bank. And remember, the UN secretary, was in Nigeria some few weeks back. And while he was there, he did, visited, some of these, remote area. And you would wonder what more could have been done when it comes to, again, some of the issues that, is contained in Nigeria today. So, Anthony Guterres was in Nigeria some few weeks back. But again, so many Nigerians have been asking the question, what can be done, to save the lives of an average Nigerian, whether living in the north, the southeast, or the southwest. But that doesn't seem to be concern to most of the politicians. And that is why this morning, another headline from Peter Obi says, worst individuals in the society are people leading Nigeria. 70% of those in politics today should not have any reason to be there. I have said it. Politics in Nigeria is a case where lunatics have taken over the asylum.
Well, lunatics have taken over the asylum. That means that nobody is in control of anything that is going on. That's what you want to say. Our listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. The time now is 11:22, and it is the Monday edition of the Morning Show with Mr. Koiki. I'm not London Studios. I'm actually here in the Southern studios. Let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Nigeria is supposed to be a crude oil producing country where at least a couple of refineries there, though they said that the refineries are not making enough, refining enough of the crude oil, and therefore there seems to be a shortage in Lagos, where it has happened that passengers are stranded due to fuel scarcity. Now, how wonderful that story.
Well, you're quite right. There's nothing new again in Nigeria that becomes new to some of us, especially when you look at a country. While I was in Birmingham, we had people that drove all the way from Leicester, Coventry to join us, and we had a particular engineer that came in, to participate in that, helping of the evangelism, and he was talking about how some almost some 10 years ago, while he was a student, a graduate working in the Kanji Dam as an engineer, and some of the the British that came in to train them, when he returned back to this country, was a shock to see that a government will allow some of their best to leave the country for something else that they will have to start all over again. And as you can tell, again and again, the reason why things do not work in Nigeria is, projects are given to the wrong people, and then the wrong people will probably don't know what to do. And that is why, Peter Obi is using the word, lunatics are running the country. Even Pastor Enoch Adeboye West, we visited one of their churches as well, like I said, in Birmingham, talked about 80%, of Nigerians, 20% are the ones holding, the bondage of the lives of millions of Nigerians. So you're quite right. Many passengers were stranded at various bus stops in Lagos State. Lagos is meant to be the mega city. I was looking at, the road network as just as like you did talk about it, Nigeria is meant to be the 6th largest crude oil producer, but we are not producing anything. But that seems to be the phrase that is being used, because whatever we are producing is an importation, either from England, from China, from other countries that are helping us to do so, until where the government rely on the Dangote refinery to be on a full production. The scarcity of vehicles was attributed to fuel scarcity, which was gradually building up in some part of Lagos. According to what we heard, Ogba, Baja, and other area, Aguda College Road, among others, the situation was the same at bus stop around Popular Beggar, as many passengers were already trekking. And the question is, where are they trekking to?
Where are they trekking to? Now, you didn't mention a gentleman who you said through a conversation was saying that he was trained by the British engineers or whoever came to Nigeria to come and train them. I mean, from under government, it could be government funding the whole thing, because to equip them with the knowledge. And when this person came to the UK, decided that, okay, it's enough what is going on there. Let me just come away. The British looking at him think that, wow, are your government actually right out there, or exactly what is happening? But my question is, to what length, if you're listening to us, to what length would you go when you see that, well, I've been trained as a medical doctor, or maybe a surgeon, and I'm in Nigeria, yet I can see the deplorable state. Now, how far would you want to go? You said that I'm sacrificing myself to just continue in Ghana, in other parts of the African continent as well. How far would you want to go? Well, let us hear from you, and let us see your comments as well. Okay, come in. Now let's move on to some other story. West individuality, okay. West individual society are people leading Nigeria. That's what Bidobi has said. And he's a lunatics leading the asylum. Okay. Now, debt servicing doubles. It's 896 billion in 3 months. That's what the DMO report is saying. So is Nigeria becoming worse off, or are we, as the politicians, oh, look, things are getting better? What is happening to Nigeria as well?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Nigerian debt servicing has increased by almost 109% to 896.56 billion, according to findings. But the question is, why are we paying so much, and where are the projects, for all this money that have been taken from from different countries, the World Bank, the IMF, but yet, it doesn't reflect back to an average Nigeria in the country. As the result, the country has also spent 3.83 trillion on debt servicing payment in 15 months, according to the data from the Debt Management Office, while a total of 9.9 trillion was spent on debt servicing alone in 2021. A total of 896.56 billion was spent in the first quarter. So there's this probability that what we're going to be spending, in terms of, our debt repayment will be much bigger than what we spent in 2021. Meanwhile, between October and December 2021, Nigeria spent 310 billion naira on domestic debt servicing, while it spent $286 million, an average about almost 118 billion naira on the external debt servicing, giving our total of 429. However, between January and March alone this year, 2022, Nigeria have spent alone 668.69 billion. A lot of Nigerians hear about this big gigantic money, but yet, as you can see in Lagos, there's no infrastructure. In Kogi, there's no infrastructure. In the southeast, there's no infrastructure. I was watching an aircraft that was landing back to Abuja. It flew out of Abuja, to Benin City, but could not land because there was no electricity at the airport, and they have to literally fly it back again to Abuja. These are the kind of atrocities that the Nigeria has done to millions of Nigerians. But it also seems that Nigerians are happy. There seems to be happy people because the election that took place in Ekiti State, people were literally collecting 5,000 naira, and we saw videos of people fighting, collecting those money. Maybe somebody was going to take a little bit more from what they're meant to be offered, and that shows that the country continue to have the deprived of millions of people from the basic needs of life. According to the exchange rate that we have this morning, the exchange rate of the central bank shows $1 is 415 naira, but you're not going to get any dollar in any of the banks because they don't have the dollar in the first place. So you would have to go to the black market. And as we speak today, this indicates that the amount the country spent on debt servicing has now rose to 109%. 11:30, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Koikimedia bringing up this from Nigeria. Now let's go to the Ekiti election that took place. And they're talking about the fact that monies were being dished out like no man's business, as we were talking about earlier on. Now, what exactly took place there? Because Nigeria Civil Defense Corps reacts to allegation of stealing money meant for vote buying. There were reports on Saturday of how operatives of the corps stormed polling units 9 of Ward and Lupeju along Ikere Ado Expressway in Ekiti. What took place there?
Well, you've got to remember that we do not have, the whole country having a simultaneous election together. So that means, due to court cases that has happened in the past, the cycle of having every state running, an election according to the INEC, as we know, doesn't happen. So what has taken place was the governorship election in Ekiti State, and likewise the one that will be coming up in Osun State. INEC has declared Oyebanji the winner of Ekiti governorship election. It was a very, very low turnout because a lot of people did not turn out. The INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, has declared the candidate of the APC, Biodun Oyebanji, the winner of Ekiti State governorship election. The returning officer, Professor Kayode Adebowale, the Vice Chancellor of Ibadan, announced the result. APC scored 187,000. Defeated, closer rival was SDP at 82,000. PDP was 67,000, and other parties as well. But the question is, the legality of that. Remember that Ilana Omodua was going to challenge, the validity of this particular election, but it has been thrown out, strike out as we speak. But there's still a review on that. And the reason for that purpose was because of the military decree 1999 constitution. But as we saw, with video evidence, I was just watching one this morning where a police officer literally cut away a ballot box. And the question is, you can't say you've had a legitimate election, with evidence of corruption, malpractice, surrounding this election. And it just shows that, most of these two political parties, either the APC or the PDP, does not have the good intention, for the Nigerians. But Nigerians ourselves, because of the poverty, are ready to collect as little as the peanut, so that, they can thumb for whoever is paying the highest bidder.
Well, interesting times. But listeners, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had the massacre that took place in Owo. Okay, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has stated that the terrorists responsible for the deadly terror assault in Owo, Ondo State, on their parishioner at a Catholic church may never be apprehended by the federal government. Now, I remember sometime last week, we had information coming through that the federal government or the security agencies have arrested some individuals. So what is this Human Rights Writers Association talking about there? Do you have any information pertaining to that, sir?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Last week there was a bit of jubilation, relief that people that did the attack, which is now almost, coming to the third week at the, the sad incident in our local government in Ondo State, the southwest of Nigeria, have been captured. But as we do note this morning, no one has been captured. We are not too sure why, all that played out. But as we do tell, things happen in Nigeria that you can hardly understand, what is the game behind it. Politics seems to be playing out. maybe the traditional rulers was under a kind of a pressure, to come out to suppress, the incident. And as we continue to say, even as at the weekend yesterday, on Saturday, more Yoruba people in the southwest of Nigeria were attacked by the Fulani terrorists, in Iseyin local government. I've seen some of the, the videos of those that have been arrested, that were injured, and you could just tell that there is already danger in the country when it comes to lack of insecurity. And the question again is, what role are the governors doing to protect lives and property? But as we speak today, almost third week after the terrorist attack, no one has yet to be, arrested towards the sad incident of so many Nigerians that died at that particular Catholic church, St. Francis Catholic Church.
Well, listeners, so we follow the story very closely. Insecurity in Nigeria, you feel secure there? Some say that, well, in the midst of insecurity, some people feel very rested and they are sure that they are going to be okay. Now, what about you? I want to know what you think about that. But in Starr Radio UK, I'm just from Nigeria with you, so let me continue. Now, let's go to Yomi for all the others that is making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Quite a lot happening. We saw Tinubu, according to the headline here, Tinubu returns to Lagos, 6 massive local government votes. But we also saw some of the, the vehicles that he was driving in. A lot of people are already complaining that he's not yet a president, but the amount of vehicle that is traveling with him, people were had to stand for 3 hours on the traffic that was stopped just because Tinubu was on his way, into Lagos. I've seen that video, and it just shows, the wastage of our politicians, the wastage of, an average politicians, and the kind of abuse of power. I mean, you hardly see, politicians in Europe or some other African countries traveling in such a convoy. But we also saw that some of his vehicles were also attacked. We're not sure whether it's due to the anger of people that have been staying in that traffic, for over 3 hours. Also, Ogun gunmen take cigarette, rice, and free adopted church leaders. So it seems it's now becoming trade by barter. When you get kidnapped in Nigeria, if you don't have the money, you could probably trade in with some other food stuff or some other things. 2 worshippers that was adopted last Monday by gunmen at the Celestial Church of Christ, Oshofa, Wasimi, in the Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria, have now been released. The founder of the church, Oluwatosin Olugabi, said the victims were all released on Saturday, but without paying something in their return. He reported that the terrorists who wear masks and vest caps invaded the church, adopted the assistant shepherd of the parish, Oluwaseun Ajose, and a Sunday school teacher, Dangoro Ayobami. The government had reduced their demand from 50 million to 10 million as of Thursday. But on Sunday, Olugabi disclosed that the church leaders were released after 1 million ransom was paid, but with also some other goodies as well, like the rice and the cigarette, to the terrorists that came in. Police bust Kano imposter blackmailing Facebook lovers with nudes. That's also coming. Kano Emir leave for Morocco on official visit. That is coming as well. Nigeria ranks 143 in 2022 Global Peace Index. Let's take a look at that, and then I'm going to come back again to you because of the time constraint. The 2022 Global Peace Index has ranked Nigeria 143 among 163 independent nations and territories according to the level of peacefulness. Nigeria moved 3 places up on the log from 146th position it was ranked last year. Other countries ahead of Nigeria in the ranking are Mauritius, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea, Malawi, Senegal, Morocco, Rwanda, Liberia, Gabon. And according to what we know, Iceland was ranked the most peaceful country in the world. And the question is, Iceland itself is not even up to the population of Lagos State. And that is why those that are campaigning for the self-determination are saying we could be better off in a smaller country where we're going to be more peaceful. There will be security, there will be welfare, there will be, everything that you can think of, as being in a country where, as we speak today, so many people are dying for the basic things of life. Afghanistan with 163, Yemen 162, Syria 161, Russia 160, South Sudan 159 are the least countries in the world. So it seems, Nigeria is just a bit of 143 among the others as well. I'm going to go straight to the social media. It's 11:39 because of the time constraint. And let's see what is actually trending. Now, Father's Day is trending, as we do know that Father's Day was just, yesterday. Ekiti State is trending at number 4, and it just indicates, the election that was just held in Ekiti. Again, it shows how money played a lot of difference. Let's look at what Ifa Funsho at Funsho Graphics said. There is no difference between the people that collect money to turn print in Ekiti and the influencer on the social media that collect money to campaign for their candidate. Again, let's take a look at one more. Again, Tinubu, a presidential candidate moving like an American president. Nigeria is a big joke. We told them that Nigerian can't be savage. I told Nigerian youth to prepare for war because of the corrupt government cabals are coming in with war. This is coming from Emeka Gift official. So I'm going to take one more from what is trending in Ekiti, and then I'm going to come back as well. Again, Reno Mokeri, very popular man on the social media, a one-time spokesman for Goodluck Jonathan, a strong supporter of Atiku. He's been very, very active, in the last couple of weeks, especially battling between, the followers of Peter Obi. He's supporting Atiku. Traditionally, the party that wins the Ekiti election usually lose the presidential election. In 2014, PDP Ayo Fayose won in Ekiti. The next year, PDP lost the 2015 election. I study patterns in politics and business. Ekiti makes me confident of victory in 2023. So he's already putting that victory to Atiku, in 2023. But that's again subject to, what others are saying. I spoke to Mrs. Abiola Onitiri over the weekend, and she continued to say the assurance that the Yoruba people will be out of Nigeria, and that is the message that she was asked us to continue to tell. She was on the Starr Radio UK on Wednesday last week, and that can still be watched on Starr Radio UK. I'm going to take one more. Aloy Ejimako, one of the the lead of Nnamdi Kanu, to be born Igbo in #Nigeria is a great burden. Yet it is a burden I bear proudly and heroically. To my brethren, never apologize for being #Igbo, even with a gun pointed to your head. To those that threaten me, hear this, I am not an Igbo with a trembling knee. So you can see that there's a lot of pressure, in the country, the marginalization, the suppression, and that is why, a lot of the, the self-determination are literally saying that they've had enough. There's an ongoing prayer section that I've started yesterday, from the Yoruba perspective, and that is going to go on till tomorrow, for those that might probably like to listen to that. I'm going to take out the last one. Robert Spencer, Muslim attack 2 churches, murder 3 people, and adopt so many. Again, there's a lot of terrorists operating in Nigeria, and as we continue to say to our loved ones, let's remain very, very vigilant. 11:42, I'm going to come back now to you, 20th of June, 2022.
Well, listeners at this from Nigeria, it is online Koikimedia. Now, if you are listening to us, wherever you are listening to us from, feel free, you can put a comment on our Facebook page, and I promise you I'm going to read that as well. As many of you who have joined us already on the Facebook page, we salute you. Those of you on YouTube, let me see whether, whilst I ask Mr. Olani one question, to see whether there are any comments on the YouTube, and I'll bring that your way. You want me to also try to see from his end if there are any individuals that we need to acknowledge. He's going to do that as well. But you know, a question that was sent through to me directly. And someone was asking a question that, assuming it happened, assuming that the Yoruba nation has, is allowed to break away from Nigeria. Now, what happens to, let's say, the northerners or those from the southeast who are living there? What will happen to them? Do they need visas to come and live there? What is going to happen? Because it's no more Nigeria. What is going to happen? Or is it going to be ECOWAS region, and therefore everybody can just do whatever they want to do?
Well, I believe when the UK left European Union, there was a process for the European citizens that are still working, living, married here in UK, and there was room for them. The leader of the self-determination, I've always said, the Yoruba people will not be hostile, to their neighbors in regard to, coming out of Nigeria. So whoever is living in that particular territory when the breakups eventually come up will still have to live there, and again they will then have to abide by the new rules and constitution in that particular geographical area. And if they feel that that might not be good for them, just as if you live in UK and you are not abiding by rules and regulation, you'll have no other option either to be deported or you can go back, to a country that will be much more conducive for you.
Well, listeners, okay, George M., that is for your information. So if you're law abiding, you can still sit and work and enjoy the peace of life that is before us. Okay, now before we run up the conversation, Yomi.
Well, we're back again for another beautiful week where we continue to give all the latest news, the update coming out of Nigeria. Tomorrow I'll be back again at exactly 11 o'clock, but you still have Archie and the rest of the team that will be taking you through the rest of the segment. Remember, if you're sending money on to your loved ones, remember to use send waves. My name is Olami Koiki. I'll be back again for more updates tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock. Have a very good morning, good afternoon to those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Olami Koiki. Have a lovely, lovely day. And like you said, we will be bringing you more.
All right, I got to go now. I'll drop on my do school. Nigerian connecting lost school, idiots. Going to Kosile. My university take a look at it, and block it. And my baranson in Oleo, Yamaja Shigis in Lara. Messed up country. Our Lomoto philosophy school, so I gotta go now. To buy my shit, Emma Shoshi. Kema for say duty. You think all these local politicians they care about any one of you?